The NBA playoffs are over. Apple has released a new iOS. Well, it hasn't been released for download, but they talked about what its capabilities and features will be. We have machine learning, finding alien civilizations. We have alien civilizations and alien crafts on our planet. And we also have a supernova being watched in real time. And I'll also share some recipes as well. But first, one last thing before I'll jump into the first topic we'll talk about is the NBA. My family, my parents, my brother, my wife, and I are going to Portugal next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to stay there for 10 days, travel all around the country. And going on vacations was something that I was able to do as a young kid. And to say that I'm fortunate enough to have parents that are able to give me that experience of traveling to Aruba, Dominican Republic, the St. Thomas, St. John's, these places that I went to as a kid with my family are some of the best memories that I have. And to have parents that are willing, not only with their financial, but with their time management, able to afford to do something like that, to spend time as a family in these beautiful places, beautiful excursions. And growing up as an adult and realizing just how much it costs, not just financially, but also with time, all the planning previously to what it takes to go on a trip. And I'm beyond thankful to have the ability to do this because I'm part of the 1% of kids who have gone to these countries with my family on these trips. I'm extremely fortunate and I'm extremely lucky. And basically do not take for granted any amount of time that you spend with your family because it's limited. So I'm really looking forward to this trip with Portugal. It's not going to be perfect. Not every day is going to be a 10. There's going to be some times where we're in the middle of some place and they're speaking Portuguese and nobody knows what they're saying, and it's going to be stressful. But I hope to do my best to enjoy it because I don't know how many more of these I'm going to get, you know? Am I ever going to go to Portugal again in my life? I don't know. I definitely know I'm going to go back to the Dominican Republic. Aruba? Am I ever going to go back to Aruba? I don't think so. I do before the end of my life want to visit all seven continents, and I hope by the end of my life I will have accomplished that. And I hope by the end of my life I will have at least had some people listen to the message that I've stated earlier in this podcast, but also the message that I'm stating right now, which is appreciate your family. And for some people, myself included, we are extremely fortunate, and yeah, it's not fair. Life isn't fair. It's not fair that I have these great opportunities to go to a different country and somebody living in the same city as me is not able to because they're a single parent and they have to provide for their child. They can't take time off of work. They work multiple part-time jobs. They don't have benefits and paid time off. They don't have that. They can't miss 2 weeks of their paycheck. And I fortunately am. And that is not lost on me. And I think sometimes in life, when we are afforded these things that people in other countries, even people in this country, people in your town, in your neighborhood, on your street, are not awarded the same opportunities as you. I don't know how many people in the city of Pittsburgh are going to be going to Portugal next week, but I would have to know that it's greater than one. It's definitely greater than zero. Appreciate your family, appreciate the time that you have with them, even if your relationship isn't perfect. Even if in the past your parents have done you wrong, try your best to find some semblance of good in them. And there's a lot of good in my parents, a lot of good in my brother, a lot of good in my wife. Appreciate those times that you spent Thanksgivings, even going back to when I was a kid. Looking back at those times and being like, dang, I really appreciate that my dad was my coach when I was a young child. When he would work and he would come home and he would be my basketball coach, he'd be my baseball coach. It means a lot. And I hope that one day I can provide that same level of support to my kids. But hopefully, when I come back, I'm a little bit fatter. I'm a little bit more tan. And then they're trying to have me shave my beard, although it's not much of a beard, shave my facial hair. And they also say no, I don't even, head coverings, I guess I'll call this. Nothing like that in there. So this will be the last podcast that I do. Now, if this is the last podcast that I do, and I think about this very frequently when I fly. If this is the last podcast that I do and the plane goes down, I gotta say like a message, right? Because you don't know. You do not know. If we are in the middle of the ocean and one of the engines goes out, what you can't do anything. Right? You toast. I'd imagine. I imagine if you're in the middle of the ocean and the plane just goes down in the middle of the, how long is it going to take for the Coast Guard or for somebody to come find you? I don't know why I'm thinking of this. This is definitely not a healthy thing to be thinking about before going on this trip, but I can't help it. I have to let this out, and I can't tell my wife this. And hopefully she doesn't listen to the podcast, but I can't tell my wife this that I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think it will happen, but it is a possibility. I would say it's as close to 100% chance that we get there safely. Yeah, I don't think so, but I feel like I should say something, right? If it does happen. And then the second that there's any turbulence, I'm gonna be thinking of this moment right now and be like, ah, dang. Just a second of turbulence, and be up, we're going down. I do not like flying. I do not like it.